You might never see a ghost, but you've definitely heard of the spooky stories. With Halloween just around the corner, let's talk about how you could catch a glimpse of the supernatural. Number 1. Dish spirit game. 碟仙. All you need is a little tiny dish, like the ones you use for dipping sauces. But once you flip it over and perform the summoning, this simple piece of porcelain is going to transform into a spirit with its own consciousness. Through this summoning, you can connect with spirits of the deceased to answer all kinds of questions, like your luck, lost items, lottery numbers, or even future success. Whatever you're curious about, just summon and ask, and you are supposed to get your answers. To play this game, participants first need to prepare a special piece of paper with letters, numbers, and various Chinese characters on it. Then, get a small white dish and draw an arrow on it as a pointer during the game. Gather your friends and sit around the table. Place the dish upside down on the paper and place your fingers on top of it. Close your eyes and focus on the questions you want to ask. Go ahead by summoning the spirit and asking your questions. Once the dish starts moving, it will spell out answers or provide guidance based on the letters and symbols on the paper. During the process of communicating with the spirit, there are several important taboos that must be followed, because ignoring these rules could bring about serious consequence. Rule number 1. Never take your fingers off the dish during the game. In movies, there's always the classic scene where a group of young people were messing around with the game, not really taking it seriously. Before the spirit leaves, they've already taken their fingers off the dish. And then, a whole series of creepy things start happening. Rule number 2. Never ask the spirit, "How did you die?" People believe that spirits are souls that stick around because they have unfinished business. Asking such a question might upset them and could bring some bad consequence. Rule number 3. Always show respect. Do not ask silly questions like, "Are you beautiful?" Remember, spirits, just like people, have different personalities. A friendly one might just laugh it off, but if you come across a grumpy one, you could end up in serious trouble. Rule number 4. Send the spirit away. Once you've asked all your questions, do not forget to ask the spirit to leave politely. Seriously, this is super important. Always wrap up your game by politely asking the spirit to leave. Otherwise, you could get yourself into big trouble. When summoning the spirit, you should take off any protective charms you are wearing. After the game is over, make sure to put those charms back on. Burn the paper you used for the game and smash the dish and bury it deep. This way, you can be sure no lingering spirits will follow you home. The dish spirit game and the Ouija board have a lot in common. Both are played in a mysterious atmosphere of a night, with candles and a quiet setting to make the experience feel more special. In both games, participants use a pointer, either a dish or a planchette that moves over a board filled with letters, numbers, and symbols. This pointer glides to specific letters or numbers, giving answers as if a supernatural force is guiding it. Scientists often explain the dish spirit phenomenon using the ideomotor effect. This psychological principle means that people can unconsciously move the dish with tiny muscle movements, making it seem like the spirit is actually answering the questions. Participants might not even realize they are influencing the dish's movement, which creates the illusion of communicating with the spirit world. Number 2. Seeing ghosts through the legs. This is usually done around midnight, in spooky places like graveyards, abandoned houses, or quiet spots. To do it, you simply just stand up, spread your legs apart and bend over. Then look through the space between your legs. Some people even claim that they've seen the ghost of their loved ones or noticed some strange shadows moving around. Scientists and psychologists think that how you stand can actually change the way you feel and how others see you. And your posture can also change how you see things. If you stand confidently, you might feel more positive, while slouching could make you feel more nervous. Number 3. Brush hair at midnight. People say that if you brush your hair at 12 o'clock at night, a ghost might show up in your mirror. I, who have felt the horror of mirrors, not only in front of the impenetrable crystal, where there ends and begins an uninhabitable and impossible space of reflections. Jorge Luis Borges' poem The Mirror shows a deep fear of mirrors. Many cultures also connect mirrors with supernatural, thinking that they can act like gateways to the other worlds, or they can trap spirits. There are lots of stories about haunting mirrors or weird things happening when you look into one, which adds to the fear. Mirrors pops up in stories like Alice Through the Looking Glass and Snow White, often symbolizing something supernatural. This link shows how fascinated and scared people have always been by what mirrors might reveal. They don't just reflect reality, they might also show darker sides of ourselves. First, take a bath and make sure your hair is a little damp. Turn off all the lights and light up a candle on each side of the mirror. At midnight, as the clock strikes 12, start brushing your hair slowly while staring at your reflection. In your mind, quietly repeat the name of the spirits you want to see. Some people believe that strange things might show up in the mirror. Scientists and psychologists think this fear of mirrors can be explained by how our minds work. In dark and spooky places, people are more likely to see things that aren't really there. The low light and the focus on the mirror, combined with the fear of the moment, can trick our brains into thinking they see supernatural beings. When we are in this kind of environment, our minds can easily fill in the blanks with imagined figures, making it seem like we are seeing something real when it's just our imagination at play. Number 4. Open an umbrella indoor to see ghosts. There are many stories that say opening an umbrella indoors can lead to seeing ghosts. Some people say they have seen strange shadows or heard odd noises after doing this. According to legend, ghosts are scared of sunlight and like to hide in dark places. When you open an umbrella, it makes a shadow that can attract these spirits. So, if you open an umbrella inside your house, you might invite a ghost into your home. Scientists and psychologists think that our brains can sometimes mix up what we see and hear, especially when we're feeling stressed or scared. If people expect to see a ghost, they're more likely to misinterpret things around them. Fear can change how we see things, making us think shadows or noises are something spooky. Therefore, when an umbrella is opening doors, the combination of feeling anxious and expecting something to happen can make it even easier to believe that a ghost is around. Number 5. Seeing ghosts at crossroads. Crossroads are often thought to be places where ghosts might pass through according to traditional beliefs. These spots can get really busy with cars, bikes, and pedestrians all coming from different directions. Sometimes buildings or trees block the view, making it hard to see others in time, which can lead to accidents. Sadly, many lives have been lost at these crossroads. Because of this, people think that crossroads might be haunted by spirits. To play this game, you will need to choose a crossroads where some tragic events have occurred. At midnight, bring 3 candles, 3 dishes of food, and 1 empty bowl, and 1 pair of chopsticks. Light up the candles and gently tap the edge of the empty bowl with the chopsticks. This is believed to summon wonder spirits from all around. It is important to keep tapping without stopping, as pausing might let the spirits notice you, which could cause other issues. Psychological suggestion plays a big role in why people think they see ghosts at crossroads. When we already have fears or ideas about certain places, we are more likely to see or experience something spooky. For example, if you visit a famous haunted spot, your mind might turn shadows or strange noises into something supernatural, even if no real ghosts are there. The power of suggestion can make the place feel scarier, leading to anxiety or even hallucinations. A person's mindset, combined with a creepy atmosphere, can strongly influence how they experience and interpret things, making them believe they have encountered something supernatural. Take this example. In this image, you might think you are seeing a human face with clear eyes, a nose, and a mouth. But in reality, it's just a satellite photo of the surface of Mars. The way the sunlight hits the terrain creates shadows and shapes that tricks us into seeing something familiar. When our brain tricks us into seeing patterns in random things, like faces in objects, it's called pareidolia. It shows how our brain is always looking for familiar shapes, even when they're not really there. When it comes to ghost sightings, pareidolia makes us believe we are seeing something supernatural, like mistaking shadows for human figures. Our brain is always using past images and experiences to guess what things look like. It fills in gaps in what we see using clues from the environment, and this is all handled by our unconscious mind. Every second, your unconscious mind gathers tons of little details and turns them into a story that makes sense to you. This is why we sometimes see faces or familiar shapes in things like shadows or patterns. The unconscious mind is great at connecting dots, even if the connections are unreal. This process affects how we see things every day, and it plays a big part in experience involving fear or the supernatural, like seeing a ghost, where the brain creates a story based on limited visual clues. It is no surprise that so many people believe in ghosts. In psychology, there is something called recreational fear, which is all about feeling scared but also wanted to enjoy the fear. It is a very unique emotional experience, a strange mix of emotions that people actually find hard to resist. That's why people enjoy supernatural things, especially around Halloween. The thrill of recreational fear pulls us in, encouraging us to enjoy the spooky side of life and feel excited even when we are scared. On one hand, believing in ghosts can actually make us feel a little less scared of death. After losing someone they love, some people might feel like they see or sense that person again. Studies have shown that these experiences can bring comfort and help ease the pain of loss. These reunions, even if they are just illusions, bring a special kind of comfort. They help bridge the gap between life and death, giving a sense of peace and connection. On the other hand, while ghosts can be scary, they also bring a lot of excitement. Many people love the thrill of horror movies or spooky stories. Haunted houses are the big hit at the theme parks too. It is that mix of fear and excitement that keeps people coming back, chasing the rush of adrenaline. We fear supernatural things because they represent the unknown, and when we're faced with the unknown, we often feel small and vulnerable, because they remind us of those we have lost and the moments that are gone forever. But it's through respecting the unknown that we learn to appreciate what's right in front of us. Seeing a ghost isn't just about the supernatural. It's a way to think about life, about our emotions, the people we miss, and the strength it takes to keep going. Each moment with friends, family, and loved ones become even more precious. In this short journey called life, love and hope are the lights that guide us through the darkness.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.